Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. This is an understanding of anger and hatred that was expounded by the Lord Buddha himself when he was walking the earth 26,000 years ago. And as a result, he strongly encouraged us to let go of our anger, transcend our hatred, so that we can attain peace, happiness and joy. But just why is anger and hatred so detrimental to ourselves, to the point that the Buddha says it's like we are killing ourselves? We may think that when we are directing our anger and hatred towards other people, we are dealing a great deal of pain and suffering onto others. And although that may be the case in the short term, we are dealing much more destruction and harm to ourselves first and foremost, but not only in the short term, but also in the medium and long term. And the reason why is because whenever we have thoughts and feelings of anger, we have already lost our peace of mind. We have already lost our composure, our mental clarity, and our physical comfort. As a result, we no longer have the ability to control what we think, what we say, what we do. We may think that we are responding to our own anger in our own way, with our own will, and that what we say and do as a result is because we want to respond that way. But the moment we are infected with anger, we have already lost our composure, we have already lost our reasoning and our common sense. Then everything we do after that point will be bringing a lot of pain and suffering to ourselves and the people around. And that is very counterintuitive, because ultimately everyone wants to live in happiness, peace and harmony. But when we have a mind of anger, we have already lost our ability to think reasonably, logically and with common sense. This is the time when we should immediately stop what we are doing, what we are saying, take a few deep breaths and try to let the anger pass. Afterwards, we can then decide what we want to do, but from a place of patience, a place of stillness and a place of open-mindedness. The Buddha mentioned in many Buddha sutras that the best way to manage anger is by using its counter polarity, being kindness. We can also use other wholesome virtues such as patience, empathy and understanding to try and mitigate the effect of anger and hatred. But the most difficult part is to identify the moment anger arises and hatred arises, so that we can immediately deal with it. Because if we don't, we will immediately start falling into the destructive cycle that anger creates. We will start saying things that we will regret, doing things, hurting ourselves, hurting other people, but also dealing great harmful effects to our relationships, our friendships. The work we've done, all the progress we've made will be immediately gone in just a few moments, because anger and hatred has very, very destructive qualities. As a result, a wise person will use anger as a tool to cultivate wholesome qualities. When he is angry, he will immediately inspire with great strength as much patience as he can, as much empathy, understanding and kindness as he can. Whereas a not so wise person will start following his own habitual mind, creating more negative karma, more negative destructive habits, and then the next time these anger and hatred comes, he will just continue to follow these habits that he has created in the past and will continue to create into the present and the future. Such a person will experience a lot of pain, suffering and misfortune for many, many, many times to come. As the Buddha said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. We should all try to use as much of our will and strength to manage our anger. Try to let go of it and decrease it as much as we can, and then replace it with other virtuous, wholesome qualities that lead to more joy, happiness and peace of mind for ourselves and others. May we all have the self-control to manage our own anger, and then have our own wisdom and insight to manage the anger of other people. I wish everyone nothing but all the happiness, peace and joy. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you again in tomorrow's Buddha Quote of the Day video. Thank you everyone. Namaste.